We are talking with Scott Kellum from SixCentSports.com and Dave Golikoff, senior sports columnist for AskMen.com, previewing the divisional round of the NFL playoffs here on the SBR TV NFL Experts Roundtable. All right, now let's get to the next two games, Houston, Baltimore. Let's start with you, Dave, because you said you mentioned in our last spot, you said Denver played their Super Bowl last week, that's why you don't like them here, and you said Houston played their Super Bowl last week, that's why you don't like them here either. I'm not 100% sure that I agree with that, though. Houston is a solid team with solid fundamentals, we've talked about all year long. So is Baltimore. But 7.5 points in a playoff game like this. What's your take on this game?
It just reminds me of a college football game where a team gets that very important win, maybe a small school mid-major upsetting a BCS program, BCS conference program, and then the next week has a huge letdown. That's what Houston. That's where they're at right now. Houston's really got to go into Baltimore and play Baltimore's game. That's really why I don't like Houston here. They have to go there and play better defense than Baltimore, play better run defense than Baltimore, and play more physical than Baltimore in Baltimore. I just don't see that happening. Not with Ray Lewis still there, not with Ed Reed there, not with the Texans coming off a physical game, and the Ravens having a bye week. So, this game overall, not a play for me. If I had to lean anywhere, probably on the under.
Okay, Scott Kellum from SixCentSports.com. This is an interesting line, 7.5 point spread, 36 is a very low total. What do your numbers say about these lines?
I like Baltimore quite a bit in this game. I was on Houston last week. I like Houston. I like what they do. Play fundamentally sound defense, run the ball, do all the things that that if a team does, you can kind of count on that from week to week. So that they're an easy team to take. I think that when they're in the right situations, because they're not going to turn the ball over a lot and whatnot. But I think they're in over their heads this week, for a couple reasons. Number one, Baltimore qualifies in a really, really good playoff situation for me. That's 44-12-1. And that situation just basically plays on a team. There's some different parameters to it, but it's basically taking the team by record in winning percentage that's much better than their opponent. And typically in the playoffs, that plays out pretty well in this situation. And so you got the situation. I make the number about 9 or 10 points in this game. So I think there's some value with Baltimore. And Baltimore's been a very, very tough team at home. They're a night and day team when you look at them at home and on the road. And I just do not see T.J. Yates surviving in this game. Watching that game last week, and again I had him, you could just see Yates in that first quarter, second quarter. I was just watching that game saying he's going to be under a lot of pressure in Baltimore, and that pressure is going to get to him, and I think it's going to force him into mistakes. The only way Houston wins this game, I think, is if they get turnovers, and I would say Yates is more likely to create or have turnovers than Joe Flacco. But they're going to have to score some points, and I just don't see Yates doing that against Baltimore at home. The defense at home is really good, and they've been going on the road the last couple of years in the playoffs. They finally got a home game. I think they'll be focused and determined, much like they were on Thanksgiving night against San Francisco, where they basically just completely shut San Francisco down and scored enough points to win and cover that game. So I think Baltimore actually is an easy play in this game, and as much as I like Houston, I've been on them many times this year, I think it comes to an end for them this week.
All right. Well, that's pretty compelling, and I can tell you that a lot of sharps and probably a lot of the public are definitely going to be teasing Baltimore down, and if they cover that teaser, it could be pretty dangerous for the books, almost certainly.